Hello Internet, I wanted to give you a quick look at this game that is called Assault Android Cactus because it is pretty cool. It's a dual stick bullet hell shooter type of game, and I am traditionally rubbish at those, but I've been having fun with this. I'm still rubbish at it, but it's fun. As you can see there, it's currently in early access, but it's in early access in a really cool way. Like, they seem to have got the foundations of the game down really well. It's probably the most polished pre-alpha game I've played. Like, everything that's in there is really solid, and it just seems to be a case of them adding more content. Recently they added the leaderboards, which is cool. Gives you something to aim for other than the S ranks and stuff. And then you've got this stuff that's coming in that should be cool. But yeah, I'll jump in. There we go, another couple of modes due at some point. I think it's set for the end of this year, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. So you choose one of these little android girls, and I really like the aesthetic. I like that they're not sexualized. They've got a cool kind of Powerpuff Girl-esque badassness to them, I suppose. But it's cool that they're female. And yeah, they've each got unique playstyles. So that's Cactus, presumably who the game is named after. I'm not sure of the story or plot. There's definitely going to be some in there, but it doesn't seem to be there at the moment. She seems to be all-round one, and I'm rubbish with her. Holly is my go-to one because she has homing bullets, which means it doesn't matter that I can't really hit things very well. I'm also biased towards the colour green and any character that wears glasses, so it's lucky that she also has the weapon that works best in my favour. I like Lemon as well because she's got spread shot, so again, doesn't really matter too much where I'm aiming, because I can generally hit stuff with a Coral I'm rubbish with, because shotgun you have to be very close. And Starch was an unlockable one, and there's going to be more unlockable characters, but for now she's the only one. But yeah, I'll jump in with Holly so I don't appear even more rubbish. As you can see, I've had a good go at most of these levels. 1 S rank, I think you can get up to S+. And the levels seem to work across. So you've got like one full set there, and that's a boss. That one's a boss as well. I don't know what the colours mean. I don't know if that's related to the characters or something else. But as you see, there's a few more levels to go in here, a few more bosses. But one of the really interesting things I like about this is how dynamic the stages themselves are. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking a lot up front, but I know once I get into the game I won't be able to shoot and talk very well, so I'll just kind of info dump and then jump in one. But yeah, the levels change quite a lot, and there's different factors in each one. But I'll jump into like the first one, because why not? And you'll get a feel for it. So I really like the art style. It's sharp and crisp. I don't know how much that comes across in the video, but yeah, it's kind of chunky and sharp, and it's easy to identify what's going on. Battery battery I just picked up, you'll see at the top. You can't really die. The battery just functions as a timer, so you can be knocked down and you'll just have to hammer the fire button to get back up, which is nice because I tend to be rubbish at staying alive in these things. But even so, you have to be vigilant with that battery because it's basically a timer. So you have to keep moving, you have to keep attacking because batteries only appear by killing things. As you can see, there's a few power-ups that fly out of these guys. I think they cycle through the longer they're on the arena floor. I'm not sure on that. But you've got a red one which gives you firepower, which is these 2 additional droids. There we go, I'm not getting S rank this time. Respectable. But your ranking seems to be based on these icons here. So I didn't die at all. I killed a lot of stuff, and I chained quite a lot of it together. And I'm number 86 on the leaderboard currently with my other score. I don't think there's that many people playing this at the moment, but I'm just kind of glad I'm not at the bottom. I really thought I would be. But yeah, time adds some bonus. I think getting knocked down and stuff takes points off you as usual. I'll jump into the next one as well, but then I'll show you a couple of the other levels that have cool dynamics. So the other one was a lift, obviously, and then the arena opens up a bit, which is nice. And I really like that you're not just kind of a spaceship flying through space, because my early experience of these sort of games was all on the Amiga, so it was all stuff like R-Type and Xenon and things like that. I've dabbled since. I couldn't deal with Ikaruga, it was too intense. But Geometry Wars seems to have been a big influence on this. As you can see, when you kill things, little grey balls fly out and you have to go and pick those up because they increase your firepower and score, possibly health as well, if you're injured, I'm not sure. So yeah, it keeps you going towards the action, which is nice, rather than just sort of hiding. I realise I didn't finish talking about the power-ups before, but you've got the red one that gives you the droids that help you shoot. You've got this yellow one that is my favourite because it makes the music go absolutely mental, and I love the music in this game. And it sounds like a really odd way to phrase it, but like I mentioned Amiga games before, and because I was a kid, didn't have money, I heard a lot of Amiga crack-tro music, like the stuff the rippers and what. There we go, get down. So when you get down, you just hammer the trigger and you'll get back up, which is nice because you don't really lose that. As long as you're shooting and killing things and getting the batteries, you can keep going. But yeah, all the Amiga crack-tro music was amazing, and when the music picks up in this, it really reminds me of it, and it's so intense, and it just gets you completely pumped. I'll go into the next level, Filament, because that has a really it was probably the first level where I was like, yeah, this is doing interesting things, this game. So it starts off pretty normal. I mean, you've got these flying ones that you have to kind of be careful of, because if you shoot them above the pit, then you lose all the power-up ball things. They just go down the pit. But yeah, then the lights go out, and it makes it extra tricky, because you've got to remember the layout and be constantly aware of where stuff is coming. It's just from a gameplay point of view and a visual point of view, I find it really cool. I don't like these big guys because they spit mines at you. I think one of the reasons I've never really got into the bullet hell games as a rule is that it relies so much on reflexes and pattern recognition and generally everything I'm bad at in games. I generally prefer slower paced things, but as I said, I've been having a lot of fun playing this. Probably the most recent sort of shooty games like this I enjoyed was Beat Hazard. Again, because of the music, obviously shooty though. Should use the... So yeah, moving... should say the controls as well, really. Standard kind of controls, really. Moving with the left stick, holding down right trigger to shoot constantly, but then you've got your alternate weapon on the left trigger. Generally, you'll see the big red enemies, and your alternate weapon will take them down in one, or thereabouts, depending on what it is. With volley, it's complementary to a rapid fire. It's just a huge, slow, annihilating cannonball. But in using it, you generally kind of get one shot. But you have to take into account that like brief pause and stuff, so it does keep you on your toes using it. There's no kind of collision with the enemies, you can go through them, but as soon as you start touching them, you'll hear that siren going off saying your health's weak. Generally I've been going down pretty fast, so probably not seeing too much of that. Didn't mean to do that. But yeah, you can see its arcade roots. Just very plain. It's very fast to get around. I mean, it starts from Steam in no time at all, and then just jumping around, switching characters and everything, super fast. And it's only a team of 3 guys that have made this, and the amount of polish in it, and the amount of love for the genre, I guess, or just arcade games in general, is really apparent. And yeah, that's a big factor, I think, in why I like it so much. These guys clearly love what they're doing and what they're making, and it shines through. I'll show you a boss fight. Weirdly, I've done better with the harder boss than the first boss, but I'll go for the technically easier one. Just to give you a glimpse of that. The cool thing about this is when I beat it, it seemed to have dialogue specific to the character, so I imagine with each character you get a little bit extra story or slightly different story or something.
There is no missing filthy rats.
So the bosses tend to be the most bullet hell. And they're the ones that it's easier to die from on account of you have to do a certain amount of damage to them to get the batteries out of them. I'm sure this had more intense visuals and music the first time I played against him. I could be wrong. So yeah, his attacks, he mixes it up quite a bit. If I was smart, I'd be using the left trigger more. I seem to be neglecting it quite a bit in this. But I have been playing as Lemon more than Holly lately. Quite hard to hit with Holly's special because it is just that big slow moving ball, and if you get too close to him he'll hit you, so I really need to be right next to him but not on him. Wow. Finish this indeed. Oh, I should learn to shoot first probably. The cool thing about her is you have to be kind of medium range for her to even lock on with the homing bullets, otherwise they just spray. I don't think I've hit him once with that secondary attack. Yeah, you can hear the siren going mental because I'm about to die, but I managed to survive. Just. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the story elements are going to be. But obviously that's not going to be the main draw of the game. It is going to be kind of score attack. They're putting in a co-op mode, which could be interesting, or should be interesting anyway. If you've got people to play with. What was another cool one? I mean, most of these levels have some kind of interesting feature that makes them trickier. Some of them are like really small spaces. Checkpoint's an interesting one. I'll do it with Lemon just to show you a different one. But yeah, Checkpoint mixes it up a bit because instead of a tiny arena, you are actually progressing through the level, so it is more of a kind of spaceship shooter throwback in a way. One of the slight problems I have is that because I'm trying to dodge the bullets, I also end up kind of dodging the grey power-up balls. There we go. Her secondary fire is rockets, and they tend to hit things quite easily. But yeah, I guess like distinguishing the good from the bad is a trait of bullet hell things anyway. I had the same trouble in Geometry Wars. I was so focused on getting away from bad things that I'd avoid the good things, so I think that's more of my problem than the game's problem. Generally it's not a problem because making robots explode is fun. I imagine the shotgun girl would be pretty good in this confined space. But yeah, once you're powered up, it's amazingly cool. Like I said before, or possibly tried to say, I don't know if I finished what I was saying, was the yellow speed power up is my absolute favourite. It's a bit crazy. No, I'm gonna die. Nothing's dropped the battery. There's one. No, didn't get to it in time. So that's how you fail a level. Revolution does something cool. As you can see, the ones without letters on, it's not that I haven't tried them, it's that I've not been able to finish them. I've done quite well on them up to a point, but I always run out of battery because I get knocked down so much that I don't have time to charge it. But Revolution, another small arena, but these bits of the floor start to spin round at some point. So as well as using them, they either function to hinder you or speed your navigation up, or steal power-ups away from you. And of course you've got the blocks as well that block your shots. So there's really a lot to take into consideration, as well as trying to get to the batteries and the power-ups. And as you can see, you get a lot more enemies, especially the shooting kind. Tiny things. Something needs to give me a battery soon. I think usually the red ones are good sources for it, but in these later levels, it's definitely a case that cutting it fine constantly as to whether you've got enough battery to get through. Like that. It's constantly skin your teeth stuff, which is not ideal for me. But I imagine it's very cool for people with twitch reflexes that can deal with these kind of high pressure situations much better than I can. Apologise for any point where I started saying something and either repeated myself or forgotten what I was saying. No, there we go. Yeah. Too hard for me. I'm sure there's plenty of people that will do a lot better at handling that challenge. Influx? I think Influx has got a cool thing to it. Yeah, it's the shifting floor one. This one really reminds me of Zenon. I don't know if anyone else remembers Zenon. I'm pretty old now. But this one, the floor and the layout changes every few waves. It's the grid texture and the way things flip over that specifically reminds me. There you go. I can constantly be aware of what's happening. I don't think you can actually fall off, but it can really mess with your flow. If you were the sort of person that had flow, like me. I like the different enemy types that you kind of got to watch out for. I think they're adding more. I would imagine so. There doesn't seem that many. I mean, they've got a good variety to them. The bullets and the patterns and this swarm. And the different challenges they present, the ones that launch missiles, you have to dodge out for, and then the hard versions, the red versions of each one. So there is a fair amount of variety and challenge already, but I want to say they're adding some more. Again, this is going to go wrong. Battery, go, go, go! Yeah. Blue power-up's good, just for giving you a bit of a breather. Just shuts down everything on the screen at the time. These little missile ones really annoy me, because I have to go find them every time. I do like firepower, especially with Lemon, just because it floods the screen so much. Battery, get the battery. Stop running away from the battery. Oh, that was cutting it far too fine. With a B, not too bad. I don't know how many people are playing this. There could only be 67 that have finished this level. I'm gonna take it. It's a low number. Do one more. Probably the really hard one. I think it's convection. Yeah. It's probably convection because it's on the last row. Let's take a look. Yeah, this red wall that functions as both a wall and a painful thing, and it's constantly moving. That is far too much for my tiny brain to deal with, as well as dodging the 1,000 enemies that want me dead, and the bullets, and collecting things. Shifting barricades. Just an extra level of crazy. I think if you stand in them too long, then your health starts to go down. So if, like me, you're just flying around all over the place, you're going to cut through a lot of them and fall over frequently. Could stand not that better if I was trying. So there is an awful lot of skill that goes into this high level play, but the accessibility of it as well is really cool. Like, someone as kind of rank amateur at this sort of thing as I am, to have a lot of fun with it. It's impressive to appeal to both. Unlike something like Ikaruga, where if you're not good at those games, you can't handle that at all, or I couldn't, and I don't really have the time to put in to get good at those games. Thought I'd sussed it then, but no. But yeah, that's Assault Android Cactus. It's currently on Steam Early Access. I think it's in the kind of £12 price range. Don't know what that is in other countries. Still in Early Access, they're adding stuff, but it looks very cool. It's also coming to PS4 and Wii U and Vita, which is very exciting. I think out of those, my platform of choice would probably be the Vita, because I really liked Geometry Wars on the Xbox, but didn't sit down with it enough, whereas Geometry Wars on the DS was my go-to game for playing on the bus, and this seems like that sort of game that kind of just pick up and play, sort of kill half an hour or so, just sort of quick fix, fun, smash a high score or two when you can. And I played so much Geometry Wars on the bus, and with considering picking up a Vita this year, I'm would imagine this will be one of the games I go for when I do, because it just makes bus rides more fun, and you can easily get lost, but it doesn't take up too much of your time, so you're not kind of stuck in a story or anything. You just pick it up and go. So yeah, I don't know whether people want to pick it up now or wait until it's finished or wait until it's on another platform, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. It's very interesting, very cool, very fun, and that's me done. Bye.